Okay, it looks like we are going live right about now. Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the seventh episode of Streamline Podcast. Terrible sorry we couldn't get Breaker Debates up this week. Unfortunately, my knucklehead manager had me working, but we're going to start finding ways around that. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this video now. In this video, I want to talk about Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Why the hell is this game not a thing at this point? This game seems like it'd be one of those, projects that would be highly successful. And I don't understand why the hell the developers ain't got out their lazy tails to actually, I don't know, develop the damn game. Now, Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, completely awesome. You get to play with all these Marvel superheroes. In the second one, you get to play with some villains too. But I think it'd be at this point now, the Ultimate Alliance 3, as far as the character roster and the characters, I think they should expand up on that a little bit more than what they have. Sure, we got 30-something characters in just about each game, but I think they should bump it up to about 40 because of just how many characters that we do have. Now, we do have some of the originals, Thor, Iron Man, Wolverine, Storm, Captain America, those characters. But I think they should step out a bit and, expand it out to some more of these other, more abstract characters that, we don't really see too much of. Now, like it was good to see Blade was in the first one. It was good to see, like, Moon Knight, yeah, was on the second, in the first one too. We still got some more of these obscure characters that appeared in the second one. Green Goblin, I believe Venom, Carnage was in it too. That was pretty awesome. But for those who don't know what Marvel Ultimate Alliance is, it's basically a video game series that involves most of the time several main bad guys banding together to do some wreak havoc and stuff, or a really big threat that one superhero can't take alone, and even one superhero team can't even take alone. And they're basically just bringing all of these superhero teams together and allowing the player to choose their teams, whether they be already established, like the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men, and they let you make your own teams, make these interesting combinations, which is one of the better highlights of the video games. Your ability to choose when you started characters and create an effective fighting team. Now, what we did see in the first one, which I really enjoyed, there's this mechanic where you can actually make your own specialized team. You can make your own specialized team, and they leveled up and they got more effective as a team. They even had their little RPG stats in it, which I thought was really awesome. I can't remember if it was in the second one, but I think that was one of the mechanics they did take out. Maybe they still have it, but I don't think they actually did. And then the second one, they did introduce the interesting mechanic called the fusion, where in all these, top-down games like this, whether it be X-Men Legends or Ultimate Alliance, all the characters have special abilities. And in the second one, they're known as fusions, in which two characters can use these abilities together to create really powerful attacks, which I think was pretty cool. But going back to what I was saying about having a larger character roster, I don't really have any characters on hand that I could think of that would be like, okay, gotta have that. I'm so sorry. But Hawkeye would be pretty cool. And this is one of those games where, when it comes to characters, I want to see unlockables, and I want to see branching path to have these unlockables too. And if it's anything like Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, of course they're going to have DLC characters. But I still want a very wide range of characters, choices before the DLC packs come. And I don't want them to just come like soon as the game comes out. Like, that's BS, it's bogus. I want them to come down the line, possibly have online forums and polls and stuff about characters they want to see in the game, and then like a couple of months later, add those characters, and then do it again, add those characters a few months down the line. Or I could possibly wait till like the Ultimate Edition and get everything. But if it's anything like Ultimate Alliance 2, where they totally screwed over everybody with the DLC characters, I'm still mad about that. When I finally get the game, I can't buy the damn characters. It's stupid, but... and for the sake of the story, I don't want it to be just this story where, you know, we go to all these, you know, exuberant places, these memorable locations and stuff, and have just all of these random bad guys just show up and stuff like that. I want it to actually be a good, compelling story. Now, the first Ultimate Alliance, it was basically the Masters of Evil, which are like Baron Mordo, Ultron, I believe, Doctor Doom, Loki, Enchantress. Like, all of those bad guys make a bad guy team, and then they're, you know, on this plot to take over the universe and everything, to take over the world. And now you got all these superheroes just trying to stop them. And the second one, it's a mixture of, I believe, the Secret Wars and Civil War. So it starts off with this little, you know, you wage a war against this one woman, against this one country, or one regime, and then it kind of expands out to the Civil War arc where the superheroes are divided. Which I thought was a pretty good. That was like more of a better. It felt like a better story, in some a more refined story in some aspects. But there were certain aspects of it that also felt very, very bland. And I wanted this game to for them to give us a more emotionally powerful story, and a really good story with some pretty interesting twists. And I would love to see those branching paths. You know, at the end of the first one, they got you know, throughout the game there are choices that you can make, and at the end of the game they tell you what those choices led to, but it doesn't feel like it was actually important. Like, what was it? In one story, something happened, and then Thanos came and ruled the planet for like 1,000 years or something like that. And it's like, but that didn't affect the game. You know what I'm saying? It didn't actually play off what you did. Like, you know, it didn't really matter. So I would love to see, you know, a better story. And I'm not like a comic book fan like this. So I don't know like all the stories. Maybe take it to what's the one where it was a Battle Planet, Battle World. You know, where Spider-Man first got Venom from. I can't remember what it was called. Well, you know, all the superheroes, a group of superheroes were sent to that planet, and that's where, you know, Spider-Man got the Venom suit. Like, maybe that'd be a pretty interesting story. I don't remember what the name of it is. Me personally and stuff like this, I want to see an original story. I don't want to see something they've already done, because that's stupid, you know. But maybe have Apocalypse be a bad guy. I don't know. Maybe just play it like with the Thanos aspect of it. And hell, it'd be pretty cool to see the Guardians of the Galaxy in the game. There'll be some interesting characters now that I think about it. Or like Scarlet Witch or Quicksilver. Like, yeah, okay, those are some pretty good characters. But I think, well, since I guess they're going this way with the movies, I guess Thanos would actually be the next. Actually, would make sense for Thanos to be the next bad guy. So that would be a pretty cool story where it's Thanos attacking Earth, and you have to stop him. You know, get these Infinity Stones and stuff like that. So okay, that would be a pretty cool story. That'd be an interesting way. Having a powerful villain. Yeah, I gotta forgive me. I woke up like 40 minutes ago. But anyways, that would be pretty cool too. And I would like to see, like, with the characters and everything, like the designs, the visual designs and stuff. Now, this ain't gonna be no Halo. This ain't gonna be The Last of Us, Until Dawn. So visuals, you know, ain't gonna be like, you know, $300 million budget on this game. No, it won't. You know what I'm saying? It looks like this. This looks pretty cool. Like the way, I mean, I think that's based off the Amazing Spider-Man movie, but the way it's you know, shown looks pretty cool. But visually, of course, the graphics have to be pretty good. The cinematics need to be on point. Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2, well, Ultimate Alliance 1 hasn't aged well at all, really. Ultimate Alliance 2, the graphics do still look pretty good. And like I said, Ultimate Alliance 3, graphics need to be on point. Costume designs need to do some of the original costumes from the comics. And don't do like you did in Ultimate Alliance 2, where you just reduce everybody down to 2 costumes. That's BS. Bring back, and I prefer at least 10 costumes per character. Because I think at this point, each character does there's so much source material, there's no reason it shouldn't be 10 costumes. And if you don't do 10, do like 7 or 8. And include the movie ones. And also include the perks and special stats and abilities for each costume design. So that way you give an incentive for the players to pick those costumes. That'd be a very, very, very much needed perk, you know what I'm saying, to the game. I would definitely include the movie costumes and stuff too, because they look pretty awesome, especially with the way the MCU is going. So they got to bring that back. Also, soundtrack, voice performances, the score need to be on point too, especially when it comes to the battle system. But with the battles and stuff and the cinematics, need to go ahead and get that going. The other 2 games really didn't have too much of a problem with that. In fact, there are some musical points in the game that I actually thought were pretty cool. One of my favorite was Murder World. I had that very the funny clown bit going with it, with the circus and stuff. So I thought that was pretty fun. But I would like to see and hear some pretty memorable ones. I kind of would like to see some music from maybe the movies too, or possibly the television shows. I don't know. We don't have to have it. It could be just original content for the game itself. But in that aspect, then fine. I want to see extensive campaign. Like I said, really good stories. And me personally, if this is going to be a Thanos type game, it should be not open world, but it should be like a mission-based war game. Kind of like a strategy game too. Like, okay, you have a base right here, and then you have all of these, kind of like Dragon Age Inquisition a little bit, where you have your base, and then you can send, you can pick which boards that you, missions that you want to go to anytime, and of course unlock more. And I kind of would like to see them do it to where I'm like, okay, if I don't want to do that mission, or if that's like a small thing, like maybe they have to infiltrate a base or something like that, I would like to send like a group of some of the heroes there based on their stats and their powers and abilities. And say if it's time, say like, because of their skills and stuff and their effectiveness as a team, might take 40 minutes or whatever to do that one specific mission. I would like to, because that shows that, you know what I'm saying, you're able to, it gives you a sense of control in a way, and that you're actually effectively waging a war against this Titan or this Thanos and its forces. You don't necessarily need to fight every freaking battle, and it would change up the gameplay a lot, in my opinion. So, like I said, in Dragon Age Inquisition, you had war with the Darkspawn and stuff. So you had 3 parts to your army, and you could just send a portion of that army to go do this mission. If there's something they need to try to steal, if there's something they need to try to destroy, if there's a bad guy they need to actually try to fight, and even based it on levels, because Ultimate Alliance can be pretty repetitive most of the time, especially when you're when you're playing these levels. I mean, and yes, there are some puzzles here and there, but at the same time, it isn't like, it isn't like the gameplay completely changes, especially when it comes to some of the boss battles. Some of the QTEs, I wish they kind of stripped that from the game a little bit. Ultimate Alliance 1 was filled with them. And mostly the bosses that were like extremely big, like the Frost Giant boss, the Galactus, and even like, no, but there were some bad guys that were pretty cool. Like Fing Fang Foom. You had to jump on that giant cannon to fight. And then even in the second game, we had to fight the woman that I can't remember her name. That whatever that woman was, the first boss that you're waging the secret wars against her. Like even fighting her had a different aspect to it because you had to stop the machine before you can hit her and stuff like that. But yeah, so I would like it be like mission based. Like you control all these characters. You're with Shield, and y'all actually waging war. You can choose to send someone to, and like if it's main missions, you have to do them. But if it's like these little small ones to either weaken Thanos' army or his influence on Earth, like yeah, they're pretty cool and help gain the advantage in this war. Okay, you know, the training simulators, cool. I would personally like to see a challenge mode where two players can challenge each other, as well as the co-op, of course. Co-op is a must-have. It needs to be local co-op and online co-op. I don't understand what the hell these companies are doing where all of these games have to be freaking online. Not everybody cares about online. Yes, much of the community, a lot of the community is geared towards online, but not every game needs to be strictly online. And that's the problem. A lot of these games are becoming strictly online when they don't need to be strictly online. You know what I'm saying? But having said that, also unlockables, lots of unlockables, bios, and stuff like that. I actually would like to see a new hero, maybe even a new superhero team get introduced, new characters. You know what I'm saying? Even with the bad guys, if you're gonna go against some bad guys, why not introduce some new bad guys? I prefer new superheroes too because that's a good way to, like, what happened? Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out. Nobody cared about Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out. Why not sit down and bring out some new characters? Not And, you know, yeah, bring out some of the characters that nobody knows about. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But why not introduce a new one, too? It's a perfect opportunity to do it. So, you know, those are just some, you know, thoughts that I have Ultimate Alliance. Like I said, I would like to definitely see, like, a fight, you know, a challenge mode with the characters. And I also kind of would like to see a mode where you actually get to play with any of the characters from the game in like a fighter mode or a training simulation or some kind of simulation. Like, okay, say if you beat Scorpion, you know, okay, Scorpion is unlockable in that mission where you can actually play as some of the bad guys. I think that's pretty cool. Like in Lego Marvel, you get to play as good guys and bad guys. And I think Ultimate Alliance 3, okay, you can have simulations where whatever bad guy you beat, you can play them in that simulation. Not necessarily in the game, but actually in the simulation. That adds a bit of flavor to the gameplay. And a much needed, it'd be a much needed thing too, in my opinion. Because there was some pretty cool bad guys. Like when you play the bad guys, certain bad guys in the second one, Green Goblin and Venom and stuff like that. When you fight against them, then you end up getting be able to play with them. That's like pretty awesome. So why not if I'm able to fight Scorpion or Shocker or Rhino and then turn around and in that simulation be able to actually play as those characters? I think it's pretty awesome. So Ultimate Alliance 3 needs to be a thing to happen and needs to be the thing to happen. I personally think when they wouldn't move, they ported those other two over to the new generation. That right there was just laziness. Sure, there's some people that wanted to port over, but to me, porting over is just an excuse not to develop a game. Because if I have it on my 360, there's no reason for me to have it on my Xbox One. But if they do Ultimate Alliance 3, yes, I will go out and buy it. Hopefully they have some of this. Hopefully they have some of this in it. Hopefully they have some of these. They introduce some of these points. I know they're not gonna watch this video. I know nobody over there give a damn about this video. But I did make some valid points, especially with the whole thing where you get to play as some of the bad guys in like a simulator or something like that to help add to the diversity of these superhero teams, as well as some of the moments when it comes to like an open world mission based one. Like if you're in New York, you know what I'm saying? Or if you have a mission that's in New York, there are other things you can do. Like, okay, if we come to New York to stop this one bad guy from doing stuff. There are other things that we could be doing, like saving civilians, collecting items, you know, various things that people trying to get out the city, help cover them, you know, defend them from these bad guy henchmen and stuff. So there's a lot of ways Ultimate Alliance 3 can go. And also, one thing I can say about 2 that was awesome is like the suits and stuff looked badass. It looked like a mixture of modernized mixed with the comic book, with the comics and stuff. So I hope if they do that too with the costumes, they do that here too, make them a lot more realistic, because they look pretty badass, especially Wolverine. But anyway, guys, in the comment section below, let me know what you think about Ultimate Alliance 3. Or did you like any of my points? If there's some things in the game that you would like to see, leave me in the comment section below. And also be sure to hit that like, share, subscribe button, as well as notification button to get the best of what's going on here on the Narik Chase channel. And I will catch you guys later on the next video. See you later.